Yeah! Welcome to Alpha Book Club. This is the world's best interactive book club on the internet today, and that is a scientific fact.
That's right.
I'm Rachel Hine, and joining me as always are my wonderful co-hosts Hector Navarro and Maude Garrett.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our Alpha community. We're so excited. You guys.
This is it.
You guys.
I hope
We did
everyone
it.
likes it. There's a lot of pressure. We're digging into the Golden Compass with everyone. So before we get started, if you're new to the chat, please let us know.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. We want to see you. We want to know your favorite books. Get
Yeah.
to know you. This is a book club. You're part of it too. Before we get too deep in today's show, we are using a new feature on Alpha called Alpha Polling that allows you to vote right in the player. A question will pop up and you just click on the answer. For now, it's only available to desktop users, but we will continue to be using it over the coming months. So for right now, just for fun, let's get our audience's opinion. Have you read, well, it's a fact, but have you read The Golden Compass before?
What
It's
are
not an
options? Yes, no, and started it
But
but didn't
didn't
finish it. Is that what
finish,
that says? Okay, great.
Yes, maybe, I don't know. Can you...
Hey, Stephen, can we get the chats up there? Sorry, thank you. So we are starting the Golden Compass. Now, if you're just joining us, if you're new, you're letting us know. Hi, Bucky B, who we got to see out. No, that wasn't, it was someone else. But we got to see a couple of folks at
Yeah,
WonderCon
that
a
was
couple
great.
weeks ago, which was really fun. A cat who games says, hi everyone, this is my first time being able to watch live.
Yay!
I got here 5 minutes before the end last week. It feels good to be on time. Yay, we're so glad you're on time with us. Super excited. So we're diving into the Golden Compass. If you're new or new-ish, I and Maude,
yourselves in.
yeah, things are gonna get intense.
It's Rachel's favorite book of all time.
You know,
Hands down, no question.
I
No
don't-
ifs, ands, or buts. Number one all time, Harry Potter sucks.
Whoa. Ooh, yeah, kicking today. Keep it
Was
going.
that kicking me? That's
Yeah.
not what. That's Rachel's opinion. Mom, that's Rachel's opinion.
It's not my opinion. Okay, so I love the series.
Yes.
I read it when I was, I think, 11 or 12. No, maybe, I don't remember what.
It's dark material.
His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. So published
like his
originally in 1995, but I think I read it a couple years later. And Hector, who normally watches the movies first before reading the book, and Maude and I always
No, we like
are
to build
upset
our own
about it.
minds and our own imagination instead
It's-
of
it's-
someone's version of it.
Is it frustrating?
After us doing this show for this long, it has become pretty clear to me that's the way to go. You should always watch the movie first and then read the book after.
But the thing is, like, don't you like having two versions of something and being able to compare notes and being like, man, the director and I really like had the same thing and vision, or it's like, wow, that was a different move that I wouldn't have gone to, but I respect that. Or
I've found that and again,
today.
it's just my opinion, and most people disagree with me, so I'm in the minority. But I have found that more often than not, I will be disappointed. People are disappointed. That tends to lead to disappointment rather than kind of being able to.
so you hear disappointment and see
Yeah.
disappointment. I see exploration, discovery.
But and you're right
then the
that
disappointment
book
comes with
to
watching the
film
movie.
adaptations,
Yeah.
but not always. We've
Not
seen
always.
it with The Princess Bride. Is probably one
I
of
will
the
never
only
read that book
the
again.
only ones. But
Jurassic
what's so
Park, I've heard.
So
Yeah, but-
I don't. Yeah.
But it's
Oh
different.
yes, yes.
And I just saw
Other-
Ready Player One, and I'll put that one in that category too. I'll be like, you know
You
what?
preferred the book.
Preferred
Still
the
haven't
movie.
seen
Preferred
it.
the movie.
Feel like,
Papa.
feel
I
like
know.
the movie was for
Don't
me.
know what that noise was.
Preferred it more than.
Papa.
What about you, Maude? Did you like the book or movie better?
I like. See, this is the thing.
'Cause
You're
you-
able
yeah.
to
Separate.
compare notes.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's the avatar that I thought Wade Watts would look like is the Wii avatars, which were like no fingers, no
Really?
details. So seeing him with his Final Fantasy hair and full lips, I was like, that's nice.
When I see because I haven't seen it yet, I keep meaning to go, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to.
Oh,
I know. I've
I've seen it twice. I did it for you. We're good.
I'm going to see it, but whenever I see his avatar, I'm just like, that's not.
Really?
Oh.
Oh,
he's
okay.
pretty
Well,
appealing.
you've
It
never
works
played
in
Final
the- It
Fantasy
works in
games, have you?
motion,
It
it
works
gives
in
me
motion.
serious uncanny valley.
It works in motion, but I mean they're
Okay.
all kind of video
Final
gamey.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And
There's a
Artemis
reason
is a-
why the
is a
word
babe, too.
fantasy is in Final Fantasy.
I
and it was not my Final Fantasy. It was just beginning.
You, as you were saying it, you were laughing. I couldn't even get through it. But
Did not watch the movie for this.
yes, so Hector
And I will
Pinky
not.
swore me
I take that shit
that
seriously, y'all.
me too, that
Yeah.
he wouldn't
Yeah.
watch it. So I'm very interested to dive into this with you
Oh,
because
yeah.
you have no frame of reference.
Other than who I think the actors who played the characters
Yes.
were in the film,
Yeah.
based off of like the trailer that I remember,
Yeah.
that I'm like kind of trying to cast. Like I cast certain actors, I'm like that kind of fits. So I'm like, as I'm reading the book, I'm like I could see like this type of human embodying that character. That's it. That's all I got.
So that's really exciting. So we're gonna dive into this book. But just another note: if you are new, we have read a lot of books on book club. You can find all
yeah.
of them. We've been doing it over a year and a half. I mean,
Year and a half?
year and a half
Yeah.
now. And a lot of
It
them
is?
have been.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's exactly a year and a half because
Really?
it was October 1st, if I'm not
Oh, yeah.
mistaken, and that was 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo! Happy
Oh my
year and a
God.
half.
Gift.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be gift
That's
for
a good
sure.
one.
Sweet.
But it
Thanks,
actually
Lee.
stands for Only Maud Garrett.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Aw. No,
But-
it does. It does in my heart.
Cool. Anyway.
But if you
Gift
watched Ready Player One or A Wrinkle in Time, we have done a bunch
Yep.
of adaptations, so make sure you go back and check those out. But for now, His Dark Materials.
Yes.
So this is the first in a trilogy. It's by Philip Pullman.
Or if you're me, the Northern Lights.
Yes. So I forgot that it was called that. Do you think of it as the Northern Lights? Was it
No,
when you read
it's now
it?
Golden Compass because that's, as soon as the movie came out, whoop, it just.
But not with Harry Potter.
No.
Well, it's Harry Potter. Yeah.
Harry
Okay.
Potter and the blank blank. Wait, what are you guys saying? The Northern Lights? What? It's the
This-
series is called the Northern Lights.
No, the series is called His Dark Materials.
I mean, I could let go of that. I reckon it could be called the Golden Compass, and then this first book should be Northern Lights.
The whole thing could be called the Golden Compass? Yeah, sure. But without getting into, there are 3 books in the trilogy.
I
They're
really
all-
should preface that I have forgotten this series absolutely and completely. And I read it, 9 years ago, and when I was 6, and I don't remember.
When you were 6, yeah, and you read it when
Any
you
of
were
it.
12. I don't think I could have read this when I was 12.
Oh God, it was so super my shit at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But I reread it 2 years ago, so it totally held up. But so it's the first in a trilogy. It's the Northern Lights or the Golden Compass, the Subtle Knife, and the Amber Spyglass, which is why I feel like His Dark Materials works because those are all 3
Like the
objects.
Horcruxes.
Yes.
Oh, like the Hallows, sorry.
Sort of,
Like
yeah.
the Hallows. There's 3 of them.
There's 3, yes.
And then the Book of Dust is an extra thing that he just did.
So,
recently.
and that came out, and I
Pretty cool.
haven't.
Recent.
Yes, it's a new
Kinda
trilogy.
connected, not connected,
It's
yeah.
a parallel trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Yes, and I have the first one, but I'm waiting till I reread these again
Oh,
to
cool.
do it. But after 20 years after the 3rd book came out, so
Yeah.
it was very exciting.
When were these first published?
1995, this first one.
Oh, wow.
And Phil Pullman was born in Britain. His father, and these are interesting once you get into. I know.
Fuck.
When we get into more of the book, his history will kind of make sense. But his father was killed in a military plane crash when he was 7. He worked as a teacher before he was an author. Pullman has pushed for the removal of age and gender labeling on books because he believed that children people of all ages and backgrounds should be able to read what they want, which I think is really
Yes.
cool. In the
that's great.
chat, what title did you prefer? We have a staggering 93% prefers the Golden Compass to
I
Northern
thought,
Lights.
Oh, Hector
Yeah.
thought he was in the minority, huh?
Yeah.
Try being an Australian on book club.
Oh. Is that hard? Try being the guy who likes movies more than books on book club. People love you, Maud. Only Maud Garrett is on the show.
Hey, I'm here too.
You
Yeah,
are my
that's true.
Northern Light.
Aw.
Philip Pullman's other famous works include the Sally Lockhart mysteries and
we have a
Aaron.
fan.
Yep. And so this new series is being written. The first book of the new trilogy has just come out.
The Book of Dust.
The Book of Dust. So last week when we were discussing the book, was it Stephen? Was it you that said this? Someone said that His Dark Materials was like Pullman's Do you remember who that was?
I remember that being said.
I don't remember who said it. Agnostic or
No, take credit. Might have been
BComp, agnostic or atheist response or version of Narnia,
Narnia.
and C.S. Lewis.
Yeah. It was Kate.
Oh, Kate! Yay, Kate!
But I'll take credit for it.
No. It was Kate, and
Yeah.
it was, and that was just such a great description of
Yeah.
it because it is this magical world, but it deals much more in science and discussion.
Parallel universes and yeah.
Mysticism.
And
Yeah.
yes, and sort of combining all of those. And Pullman would describe himself as atheist or agnostic, and his Dark Materials does dive into religion a lot as we get into it, but in a way that I really appreciate, which is when
wrinkle.
science, when science and religion or belief intersect, because they're both, to me, they're both things, ways that humans are trying to answer the same questions.
You're absolutely right. Just like Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Why I'm agnostic.
Yeah.
yeah, because who knows?
I'm open to something.
Yeah.
I just want some science to back some facts.
Yeah, back some stuff up. So before we get into what happened in the book, we have a Skype guest.
Cool.
Yay! He's been on the show before. Please welcome Thrash Odin.
Hey.
Yay!
Hey.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Hi.
How's it going?
Going pretty great.
Oh my
I
God.
saw Thrash Aiden at the movies last week.
Oh, really?
Oh, for Ready Player One?
Oh, that's
You
awesome.
did.
Yeah.
The most interesting part about that was that Maud recognized me.
It's you!
That's great.
That's awesome. I love your wall of books behind you.
Oh, impressive.
Oh yeah,
the
there's
first thing I
probably
looked
like 300-year-old books here.
That's awesome. So have you read The Golden Compass before?
No, I had never read it before. This was it was pretty interesting because I look back at when I worked at Hollywood Video, so I rented it once.
Oh.
You get free
But
rentals.
I
It's
couldn't,
fine.
like, I
it's
didn't.
fine.
No. I didn't make it all the way through, like, because I got it because I knew people loved it, but
It had big names in it.
Yeah, it had big names in it. I knew people loved it. I started watching it, and I was like, "This is garbage." So
It is garbage, but the books
Yeah.
are not. Do you like what you're reading so far
Steven.
from this section?
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
I love it. I find it incredibly interesting because it's kind of really set in this kind of age of discovery time, where you're getting all these kind of where like science is kind of replacing religion, and you're getting instruments that tell you the truth. You're getting like the chronometer, which like is a precursor to GPS. So now we can travel long distances accurately. You're getting like barometric pressure, like all this stuff that's replacing philosophy.
I love
That's
that.
such a good take on that.
And I
Yeah,
kind
it
of want
is.
to inject a bit of Hector into that. Like a lot of the time, we're looking at superpowers to enhance us and to have
Yeah.
super strength and to be able to move things with our mind. But how amazing is it that there is the hunt for the most pure thing in here is the hunt for truth and answers. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
love
refreshing.
that.
And
Knowledge
Yeah. Because knowledge is power.
with great power.
It becomes only more Garrett.
Even more magic.
Such
There-
a Hector thing to say, yeah.
So, question in the audiobook, do they say Demon?
Demon.
They
Just
say
straight,
demon.
Straight demon, yeah.
Okay,
I
I
was
always
confused by
thought-
that as well. I always thought it was Diamond or something like that when I read it.
Not
Yeah.
Matt
and
Damon.
then not even
I'd
Matt
call him
Damon.
Matt. I'd be like, Matt.
Matt.
Matt Damon.
But the audiobook
Yeah.
is just Demon, yeah.
Demon, I like Damon better, but what would your Damon be? I'm going to say Damon. I don't
Demon.
care.
As a bit, I was gonna say that my demon was gonna be Hemingway. 'Cause that's my Patronus. But probably my daemon would be like an ape.
Hey,
Cool.
Ah.
Intelligent.
No, actually, hold on.
opposed
Turtle. Turtles are great.
Turtle.
Oh, I like
that's
that.
such a good answer.
I like that.
I really like that.
Is
oh my
it,
gosh.
can I say owl or is that strictly relegated to Harry Potter?
No.
land?
You could totally say that.
Labyrinth did owls way before
Thank you.
Harry Potter
I'm
did.
just checking in with
my
the
God,
with the
I
I just
HG
remembered I
guys.
meant to tweet, you know, the meme that's recirculating the "If you don't love me at my."
Yeah.
I gotta do. I'm gonna do it after this. I was gonna do the owl from Labyrinth and then Bowie because it's both him. Anyway, sorry.
That's good. Well, now you don't have to do it because you said it.
No,
but
I
you should still do
have
it.
to do it.
Okay.
But
I want a little Archimedes type owl,
Yes.
like in Sword in the Stone.
I love Archimedes.
You wouldn't want something that can actually like. Oh, see that we've just
We're gonna, yeah.
we've just
No.
discussed you and I like to a T.
Yeah.
I want a weapon.
I
and you
want a little old man in a bird that will tell me wisdom.
No.
And a
Yeah.
and a and
I
a
want one to be
turtle.
like, do you want me to give you his face? And I'll be like, mate.
Oh my
read it."
Oh yeah, it's like your anger translator on
Yeah.
Key and Peele.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly right.
And
yeah.
turtles are sensitive but also
a
tough.
Are you
Great
kidding me?
answer.
It takes their
perfect.
home everywhere they go. I love it. It's
I know.
Oh my
literally
God,
a homebody.
what a dream.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
ninjas now. So
I'd have to
they-
carry it everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
They'd
true.
be like, come on.
So what do you think we should read next? I know we have
Yeah.
Harry Potter coming up, but what do you recommend as a bookworm yourself?
You know, I was thinking about starting it myself, but Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I've never read
Yeah.
before. And then Stranger in a Strange Land is a great one.
That's such a
Yeah.
good one.
I've never read that. Who wrote Stranger in a Strange Land?
Heinlein.
Ooh.
It's
Isn't
like
Isn't that the?
yes.
Heimlich? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that's
thinking
the
of the
one.
caterpillar from A Bug's Life. That's what you're thinking.
Oh,
Yes.
I am a beautiful butterfly. I'm sorry.
Go with it.
It just came out
Focus,
of me.
Rachel. Focus.
Oh my god. did you just-
Heinlein is one of like Bradbury. I know I did a voice. Is
No, I'm thinking that maybe that's your demon. And you just
no
didn't
a
know it.
No, I hate caterpillars.
It's a cat.
No,
a pillar.
No, I hate caterpillars.
But
Oh,
did you
what
know
about
I'm
cats?
doing where I stopped?
No, it's obviously a cat.
Oh yeah. Okay. All
But
right.
is it
It's
a
a black
cat?
cat. No,
We didn't even have to answer.
I'll-
Great.
Maybe it's
I-
a cat that's like wriggles and it's like.
So we have
That okay.
turtle, owl, cat,
Flamingo.
Yes.
flamingo. That's not a very vicious animal, Maud. You said you wanted a face biting one.
I mean, I've never picked a fight with a flamingo, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't win.
I mean, geese are not very nice, and
Right,
swans.
but a flamingo's not a geese. A flamingo
It's
is a
a
thing that
bird
you
with
use
a
as
beak.
a, as
Well,
a
it can't
putter.
be a
You grab
giraffe.
it and you turn it into a putter, and then
What are you? Who are you? The Queen of Hearts?
yes.
No, flamingos are super
Oh
vicious.
wow, that just actually hit the
They
nail
are.
on the
Flamingos
head.
are super vicious.
Yeah, flamingos are super vicious. They bite.
Confirmed. There we go. Makes sense. Flamingos are
That's
super
pretty
vicious.
spot on.
Yeah,
Pretty
thank
spot
you.
on.
Thank you. And you've just nailed it.
Yeah.
Queen of Hearts.
Yeah. That's perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any other book recommendations, even that we should read, that the group should be
Yeah.
reading on the side?
Dread Single says ruin everyone's week by reading IQ 84 next.
I don't know. I've been reading a lot. I've been reading way too many like translations and stuff. I don't know if you guys want to read what I'm reading.
Name one.
I've been reading Plutarch's The Lives of the Noble Greeks,
Cool.
which was he was born a Roman, he was born a Greek, died a Roman. He has really interesting like observations about the time, like he does for because I speak a little bit of Latin. He points out that for the founding of Rome, they have that story of like the two boys nursed at the mother wolf.
Yes, Romulus.
But he points out that wolf in Latin is actually euphemism for like a sexually aggressive woman. So it's like the same way that we use cougar.
I really like that story.
Oh.
It makes sense.
So
That's how I
so
knew
it's
it.
like two young boys being like taught by an aggressive woman like the weaknesses of men and like how to be aggressive and how to get what they want.
Cool.
And then that like really makes them want.
I'm learning so much
Yeah.
about myself this book club. Also,
Yeah.
I need to reevaluate and reassess my life and the decisions that I'm making, if that's what you're reading in your downtime.
No, that's awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, and
Thank you,
we'll
Thrash
chat with you
Odin.
more about the book in chat.
Yeah. Oh, I love coming on.
We'll have you
yes, Name It.
anytime.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love his little.
Thanks so much.
What is this thing called?
I don't know.
The Greek thing, the little the thing that you know what I'm talking about? The thing made of leaves that Caesar has on his head.
Sure.
That thing.
Oh, I thought. Okay.
Huh?
A laurel?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Laurel Wreath?
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
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 Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna dive into this book now, The Golden Compass. We've already talked about our.
Really quick, I'm gonna, now that you've had your dream book,
Okay.
I'm petitioning for mine. Bucky B said it, and I'm backing it up.
Okay.
Ooh.
Name of the Wind.
Okay, I'm in.
Name of the
Name-
Wind, Patrick Rothfuss.
Name
guys.
of the Wind.
The Name of the Wind.
And you've been wanting to do Jurassic Park.
And you can't watch the
Yeah.
movie
ones.
because it doesn't exist. But
All right.
it is going to be a TV show that
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel,
Oh,
Is
that's right.
doing-
He's excited about that. I don't know what my dream book would be.
and I'll
if it's
actually
not,
personally be like, hey Patty, can you come on ABC because, and we'll go.
that would be great.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit up
I'm so
Lin-Manuel.
glad. Yeah, he's in my speed dial.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll be like, hello.
I don't know if I have
Please
a dream
don't.
book. It's either Jurassic Park, or we must have already covered it, or I can't remember all of it. Is it in here somewhere? I don't know. Or maybe Casino Royale, the first James Bond book, which I heard was not good. I'm dying to read that. Or maybe the first Jason Bourne book. I don't know, just some kind of like a dad book, some sort of like
Yeah,
spy
those
thriller,
are-
like
I don't think my dad read any of those.
Some
Yeah.
John Le Carre.
something.
But
Sure.
my dad
Yeah,
and Thrash
sure.
Odin would probably,
Yeah.
have a real deep discussion about
true.
that.
We
and
could
we could just keep talking about Ready
because
Player
my
One.
dad is.
Super smart.
Dan Casey.
Dan Casey? Yeah.
He
All right, man,
came
you
by
said
my
it.
office
Yeah.
on Thursday and was like, "What did she really say?" And I told him.
What was that again?
Yeah.
What did I? No, never mind. We'll talk
do you
about
remember
it
now?
later.
Do you remember now?
No. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You
no.
guys got to watch the last episode to find out what we're talking about.
Maud
So
right now,
it's
she's
dirty.
Maud's thinking to herself, motherfucker. Oh, that's probably what she's thinking to herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about this book
Yes.
because it's a book club, but also because
All right, that got me. That one got me. That's good.
because Hector finally has not seen the movie first. So, what do you think of the first section? What do you think's going on? Tell
Yes.
me everything.
To sum up,
Yeah.
good news and bad news.
Oh boy.
It's just kind of like stagnant. It hasn't lost me. It's very interesting, but it hasn't like sucked me in yet.
Okay.
And I think that it is because I don't think it's a fault of the world. I think that it is, and it's not necessarily a fault of, but the writing style is very, just kind of throws you in the deep end. Especially coming off of just having read Harry Potter,
Got
which
it.
like goes out of its way, bends over backwards
Which
to
you
explain
kind of didn't,
every.
were a little sick of.
In the second book, yes.
Yeah.
But that first book, the way it's designed, and this being a first book, it
Yeah.
reads as if it's like book 7 of 12. And I'm like, all right, fucking, we're in it. Cool. Oxnard, I don't know what's going on. Let's do this. That's how it's
But
reading
then
right
little
now.
nuggets of information are getting
Yes.
deposited, and in such a way where it's like, wait a second. It's like an
There's-
Agatha Christie moment. In a
Yes.
way, where
Yeah.
It's like I heard.
I heard
page
this
14,
before,
Wait
yeah.
a second.
There's connections, and
Ooh.
also
Do we need a board next week?
maybe to start keeping track of
Wouldn't make me
characters,
bored.
locations. I would actually dig that. I love conspiracy
Yeah.
boards.
Can we
Murder
do
board.
it?
Murder board. Let's do
Yay!
it. But
It's-
like,
it's a dust board.
it's a dust board. Chalk dust. But just to sum up, like, I am interested in the world, I'm intrigued in the characters, but the writing style itself, the way that it moves from subject to subject, sometimes it sort of slows down. And I think that it's common in fantasy, but also just literature, period. The author will decide, and here's where I'm going to explain like descriptive language. And then the very next paragraph, when you're kind of like, maybe your eyes are glazing over a little bit at the descriptions, this incredibly important sentence happens.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. And
so
you're like,
so I'm
"What?"
like, okay, fuck. Okay, so
It's
the
kind of
writing
like
style.
the use in Harry Potter where of history, like Professor Binns,
Yes.
whatever it is, Binns, you know, drones on and on
about
and
the founders
on.
of Hogwarts and all those
That's
things.
it.
And then it comes, you know, it's important later.
And then you're like,
and then
Salazar.
all of that tied in with Philip Pullman's language. He has a language that he speaks that is even different than mine. Even though it's English, his English is different than my
He's a
English.
proper
So
and
he's
particular-
he's a proper, particular,
another P word, 'cause I
great
won't say it.
writer. That half of the
Prim-
words, there will be words that I do not
Well,
recognize
so there
because
are,
they're made up, and then the other half of the words I do not recognize, I do not know those words because
did
he is a
notice-
smart man that I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know. When you have a book that has the word sconce in it multiple times, I'm like, Hector's going to be a little out of his element. I'm not super
Loves
in the
his
sconce
sconce?
world.
Ugh,
okay.
I had a couple of scones
Yeah.
yesterday.
I thought I did too.
Until now.
Yeah.
I did notice that hearing him read it, because Philip, little shout out to
Yeah.
Audible, Philip Pullman narrates the book.
Oh,
and
cool.
they have a full acting cast
Love it.
acting out all of the characters, which
Very
is
helpful.
great. So it's
Yeah.
listening to like a radio play, which is
That's so
kind of
fun.
amazing.
Yeah, I
but
need to
Philip's
do that.
voice is very, he speaks very throaty. And
Yes.
it's very breathy. And if
Yes.
you don't listen, it can actually mold into one another. And this is how we'll talk.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he
no, I
did
can't
say
do that.
grimace. Now, guys.
Instead of grimace.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's
okay.
grimace.
Well, I was like walking along.
Grimace,
Grimace.
yeah.
I was like, huh?
Yeah.
30 seconds back. Grimace. You know what, dude? You sound real smart.
Yep. A
What
little-
happened with this word?
A little too smart. Like
that what
saying
it's like when you talk to me?
Schedule. I'm like, shut the hell up. It's schedule. It's schedule.
It's
it.
schedule.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
but
schedule.
Australian is even different. And I hope you
Yeah.
don't take this the wrong way.
Not at all.
To my crude American ears, Australian has a little bit more of a rough around the edges quality to it
Absolutely.
than England English.
I listened to the way that the voice for
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Coulter in this one, very particular, almost sounds like Mary Poppins. And I'm listening like, I love Mrs. Coulter.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way
Which is on purpose.
Which works for you. Well, I'm curious, how would you compare it to Assassin's Apprentice so far?
Well, there's more for me to connect to.
Yes.
because it is not
Good.
a full-on high fantasy world like Lord of the Rings. Ooh, you know what? Actually, my dream book would be The Hobbit. I read
yay.
it
Okay,
before.
I've got
but
it.
I
So
would,
good. I
I would
love
fucking
Hobbit.
love
Ready?
to read that with you guys.
I'm in.
And I just saw some
Hell
YouTube
yeah.
videos. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the work. Lindsay Ellis is a fantastic YouTube video essayist. And she did a breakdown of the Hobbit movies that are brilliant. And she's like a
like some
two-parter
more.
thing. So
Did
like
she agree
thinking,
that the movie shouldn't be threes? It should
yes,
just have been one?
but
Anyone
her,
with
but
any
her,
sense would agree with
basically
that.
her thesis from the beginning, thanks Rachel, is like those movies didn't have a chance because of all of the things that they had to do, and it's fascinating. It's really interesting. So I like thinking about.
I like listening to smart people.
Yes, so really, really great. So I would love to do The Hobbit and eventually even straight up Lord of the Rings because I never finished Lord of the Rings.
I was
didn't
did-
either.
18. I was 18
I only
and I was
did
like 7.
Fellowship and then half of
pages
Two
in.
Towers,
No, I
and then
lasted
couldn't
7
finish it. So I would love to do that.
I
but
couldn't do Fellowship, but I ended up reading The Silmarillion.
really, that's the one you could do.
Yeah, because it's got, I don't know, man.
I heard it was
don't know.
like
Just had an
even more
idea as
nerdy.
well. What if
more
we
dense.
read our parents' favorite book? Either our mother's or
No.
our father's favorite book. We could read that.
It will be
The
like
Stranger in a Strange
TV
Land
Guide
would
or something.
probably,
It'll be
if my mom's
Knife
watching,
and
because
Dove.
sometimes she
Yeah.
is.
My mum can't work out the internet, so Mum, your daughter. She'll never see it.
What?
your mom's not Amish. Somebody could send that to her. That clip of you doing
She
that.
doesn't.
Someone
guys,
do it
no
right
Facebook,
now.
no
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's okay. Good call. That's
No
good.
mobile.
All right.
She might be lurking, but
You
my
know what?
mom's
Oh
favorite
my God,
is
she walks
Stranger
in
in
the
a
door.
Strange Land.
Somebody send that clip to Dan Casey. He'll know to get it to your mom. He'll know to get it to your mom. But easier to connect to because
Yes.
here was my favorite. One of my favorite things about this book. Right in the beginning, you open the page and before the contents, there's a little thing right here that says. The Golden Compass forms the first part of a story in 3 volumes. The first volume is set in a universe like ours, but different in many ways. The second volume is set in the universe we know. The third volume moves between the universes.
did not
That
read
was
that.
so compelling to me. As a comic book fan, as somebody who pores over like Marvel and DC encyclopedias that have specific designations for each parallel universe, I was like, oh, dope. Thank you for this bigger picture context. I'm ready to go. So knowing that it's similar to ours,
funny.
I can find connective things. The
Well,
way
they're
that
in
they describe they're in
Oxford, yeah.
Oxford, and then but that even that's different. And the way that they have certain words and titles and relationships
can
and humans,
recognize them
all of that stuff
similar,
is
too.
recognizable. So it's not it's way more fantasy than Harry Potter, which
Got
is
it.
our world but with like one thing different. This thing is like 50-50, but it's not all the way high fantasy as Robin Hobbs. Assassin's Apprentice or high fantasy like Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, where it's like it's such a tough balance for me as a reader to get Hector into here are
Yeah.
the rules of the universe, but also here's a story and characters you can connect to, but it's a completely different universe, which
Totally.
is high fantasy.
Well, the chat is saying in the poll that the opening chapters didn't remind them of Harry Potter, 2%, didn't remind them of Narnia, 5%, 93% said something else. So please let us know in
Ooh.
the chat what it does remind you of if you've read A, because I want to read it.
Yeah.
If
Fresh
it
Oden
reminds you of
said-
something else.
Fresh Oden said Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah.
And Odie Fidi says, Hector, you're going to love The Subtle Knife because of that.
Yes,
and see,
The
that's
Subtle
thing,
Knife is
That's the thing
dope.
that's kind of, even though I'm not loving this so far, the thing that's getting me, I'm like, I need to finish this. I want to finish this. Well, I'm going to finish this. It's our
Yeah.
job. But like, but beyond finishing the book and deciding if I'm going to do the second or not, a thing that really might push me over to yes, you should is because I know that it takes place in our world.
I've got a question for chat. How old's Lyra? She's like 8?
I think she's supposed to be 8 or 9.
8 or 9?
Yeah.
All right. Do
Yeah.
you relate more reading these books through the eyes of an 11-year-old Harry Potter or a 9-year-old Lyra? And can you distinguish any differences between
In the ages,
the ages and the genders?
that's a great question. I can't speak to the genders, and I wanted to actually ask you guys about that because this is a male writer writing an 8 or 9-year-old girl's
And
perspective.
Harry Potter is a female writer.
female writer and
writing.
an 11-year-old boy's perspective. I mean, at the end
But
of the
it's
day,
also it's not first person. Neither one
Correct.
is first person, which I think
Correct.
helps because
But it's
you
from
have this.
the perspective of.
Yes, but
Yeah.
you get this. But we also, we also see in this one more scenes where he's Roger and
Uh-huh.
the gobblers as they were, which we find
the
out.
GOB.
We find out what's going on there, which we'll get into. But
Gobblers will get ya. That's what they say.
oh really? In the-
Oh, do you know about the gobblers? The gobblers will get ya. I'm like, yeah.
I started reading this
Goblins.
knowing the background of this book, knowing who wrote it, knowing where he comes from, and I was thinking, well, it doesn't explicitly say that everybody's speaking in an English accent. Listened to the audiobook first chapter, and I was like, yeah, right. It's basically the way that it reads and how I picture it, where like, because it's in the
And they're in
fantasy world,
Oxford,
it's
too.
yeah, they're in Oxford, and I'm like, all right, there's no way I can try to pass,
Lyra.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, when
no.
you're trying to.
Yeah, I'm like, I
put
can't
them in your-
Americanize this. Nope, sorry.
So
it is English.
Lyra, I love, and this is being adapted into a TV series right now, and the
Daphne
young,
Keane.
yeah, the young actress who was in Logan and stole the show in Logan is playing young Lyra,
Oh, I
which
can
is
see that. Yeah.
so perfect.
The rough and tough.
She's
and-
so scrappy.
Yeah.
I
But
identified
can
more.
she do an English accent?
I know. I'm curious.
are they gonna
we'll
ask
see.
her?
Where is she
I don't
really
know.
from?
I mean, I think
She
she's
speaks-
Mexican.
Yeah, she speaks Spanish.
I think she's Mexican, and I think her original name was like Daphne Keane Rodriguez or something. And as Hollywood does, somebody along the way was like, "Hey, parents, have her drop that name so she can get booked on stuff."
Boo.
And then I think that's how she got. And because I think both of her parents are like Spanish soap opera stars from Spain, maybe. So she might be from Spain.
Cool.
But she is, I think she's Latin or Spanish. One
Yeah.
of those two.
Yeah, her audition
yeah.
tape was in Spanish, I believe,
Yeah.
because she was supposed to be yelling and
She
kind
speaks,
of.
yeah. When she's speaking Spanish at Logan, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, it's so great. So she's playing Lyra, and I will say that when I read this, because I was young, I was older than I was when I started Harry Potter. I think I was maybe I was 13. But Lyra was Stephen. Go back in the chat. Stephen.
This one, yeah.
I was not a scrappy tomboy kid. I was a sad weirdo. We've discussed this. So
And she's
I
a
liked,
scrappy tomboy kid.
I was a scrappy tomboy
Yeah,
kid.
so I really
I
I
was
thought
not.
Lyra.
I kicked boys.
I got kicked by girls.
Yeah,
I'm
I just
sorry.
hid. I just hid and
Sorry.
read my book. But
Yeah.
when we established
kicked you
this
too.
month one, when we talked about
Yep.
Haunting of Hill House, we all knew that.
We were like, Maud's such a Catherine Zeta-Jones, and we're that other woman.
Yeah, the sad one from 6 Feet Under.
Yeah,
and,
we're the sad woman from 6 Feet Under and Ransom. That's
Yeah.
us. That's Rachel and I.
and High Fidelity.
Nice.
But so I really liked Lyra because she was so different from me, and she was a tomboy, and she hung out with the boys, and she would hide somewhere where she wasn't supposed to be, whereas I was definitely more timid. But then we get into this concept that's kind of through the first few chapters of Dust,
Yep.
a northern expedition that Lord Asriel.
Great name. I might
Yeah,
make
it's a really good name.
D&D character Azrael.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Then I'll kick
Dust,
him.
the Oblation
Modern
Board,
boys.
missing kids.
Yeah.
And this sort of mystery that's going through, and we're getting it from Lyra's perspective, so we don't really know exactly what's going on, but it really hooked me because it feels like there's this science adventure element to it, but she's putting the pieces together very slowly. And I will say, I'm looking for a cat to adopt right now.
Oh,
and I
congrats.
have decided that
You're going to call it
Pantalaimon,
Oh, that's pretty great.
Pan for short.
Pan, that's perfect. Yeah, not pant for
I
short.
was
That's
not
weird.
expecting
Pants.
that.
Yeah, pants.
I'm calling your cat Pants.
I know, my
Pants.
friend said pants, and I was like, maybe pants.
Do you know what type
too.
of cat you're gonna get?
No, just one that's
One
like.
that looks like it's wearing pants.
No, I just want
That's why I'm a dog owner.
to rescue a cat that jives with me. So I'm going to meet a few this weekend.
I'm
But
not just saying this because you're like goth queen extraordinaire, or were.
But
But black
Black
cats
cat.
do have a
No,
harder
they
time
need-
getting adopted.
Yeah, so I'm
I got a
going.
black dog.
I have.
It's not the same, but
It is.
still that's
Black
cool.
dogs,
Is it really?
Yeah, black dogs don't
What?
get
They're not bad
as
luck?
much as white or lighter
Really?
dogs. Yeah.
That shit's racist, and I
Yeah.
believe it, Maud.
Yeah.
I believe it.
My dog's bum's white.
Okay.
A lot of our bums are white because it doesn't see as much daylight, not as much sun.
So back to the book. What did you want to read in the chat, Mom?
Yeah, really cool comment
did
happening
that
from Odo Fidei said Lyra had a very different childhood than Harry, and I cannot agree more. Harry was basically imprisoned and abused, and Lyra was the queen of her castle. She could roam Oxford at will and was taught by the smartest people around. And I love the fact that, like you were saying, knowledge is such a powerful thing to have. And in a lot of cases, it's a luxury to have any kind of knowledge. And she opted out of being taught
Yeah.
things because it was a choice for her.
It's almost like the grass is always greener situation. Imagine if Lyra and Harry Potter switched, like if
Oh,
they did like a
man.
house swap. Harry would love being raised in Oxford, and
What
Lyra
would his thing
could probably
demon be?
I don't know.
Harry
It'd probably
Potter's
be an
demon.
owl still. It'd probably be an owl. Let's just keep it on theme. Let's keep it on brand. It'd probably be Hedwig still. But
No, it would- it'd be a
except
hedgehog.
Hedwig would talk,
It'd
and
be a
Hedwig's
hedgehog.
would be
Fight me.
voiced by Jennifer Connelly. But
Harry's
what?
demon would be a hedgehog.
You think so?
Is that a lab-
Yes,
was
it's
that
a defensive
labyrinth reference?
mechanism.
It was a Spider-Man Homecoming reference, but sure, we'll say Labyrinth. Well, that
Okay.
counts. That counts.
I thought it was
Owls and
Labyrinth.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly was in Labyrinth with an
Oh,
owl,
right,
but
she's
Jennifer
the-
Connelly did the
is
voice
the
of Spider-Man's
voice of-
heads-up display
yeah.
Oh,
in
that-
Spider-Man
I
Homecoming.
liked that a lot.
That's great.
That was
I did too
fun.
because she's married to Jarvis, Paul Bettany.
Yes.
So it makes sense.
I will quickly just to go on the comment just there. I prefer to be, especially in the first book, like you, Hector, a little bit more spoon feeding. Just build the world
Just
out a
to-
little bit
just-
more so I can put it
well-
in there, look around, it's all a bit tangible, and then throw me in.
I don't know if I even want more spoon feeding, or if I maybe wished that Philip Pullman's writing style were even different. I just know that I would connect with a different writing style.
no
take,
exposition.
Take for example, the first few chapters, an outline gets handed to J.K. Rowling. She writes it. It is a totally different book. But the
Yes.
same sequence of events happens, the same dialogue, the same characters. I would probably be more sucked into that just because of how she decides to write it.
Got it.
That's all. So I'm like, I don't know what I want more. I don't know if I want more spoon feeding, if I'm just like, Philip Pullman, you're an old British guy, and I don't know if I am reading your language, bud, but let's keep
Million
going.
years old.
So that's all.
I like, I mean, because I like
still alive?
mysteries. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I
Is he
mean,
still-
this
yeah,
book
he's
came out in
writing the
1995.
new series.
did
Yes.
say that?
In fact, I did see him. I saw him in an, as you would say, Maud, an advert when I was at Target promoting the Book of Dust, and he was talking about it. So he's very much alive and well.
He hasn't
Right?
bitten the dust yet.
Nice. Very nice.
I like that it
Quite a
throws
Pullman.
you.
Very good. Very good.
Ooh.
I am no man. That's fine.
Fill up my brain up with more. Keep them coming.
Oh my god.
So okay, so I want to. Here's a film reference for you. The scene with the. Well, so everyone has put together that the lady who is entrapping young children is. Yeah,
You didn't
because
know
the
that?
monkey.
No,
I
I
Damn it! I was like,
Not in
I knew.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
I was like, you have to be like.
What?
So
Oh my
that's.
God, the golden monkey. No, yeah, I know.
That's no, yeah, it's pretty clear. But I was like, geez, Hector, you gotta work
Really
on
was
your
not-
reading
yeah.
comprehension.
Yep.
The obvious section.
It's like pretty clear as soon as you meet her that she's bad news. But that scene where she is luring the kids out with the golden reminds me of the witches. And
Yeah,
especially
right.
in the film version where the one that freaked me out a lot as a kid, the girl who gets sucked into the painting.
Oh, I
and
haven't
then
seen it, but
Abe-
that seems scary.
You have never seen the witches?
No.
I when I
haven't.
was 5 through Fingers, and I found
It's so
excuses to leave
good.
all the
Angelica
time.
What year
Houston.
did it come out?
91.
Oh, okay.
Damn it.
I mean, me
Yeah.
too.
You saw it when you saw it on DVD, right? Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It already come out in DVD by then.
Sorry.
Did you say you saw it in theaters?
No,
okay.
she watched it later on
Yes,
DVD.
On DVD.
Yeah.
On Blu-ray. The Witches on
Years
Blu-ray.
later. But
Okay.
it's she lures the witches lure children out to destroy them, and she
It's
ends
not
up.
a kids movie.
No, I
It's
loved
not a
it.
kid's
No,
like,
it's very
Oh.
scary.
frightening.
Yeah.
And she puts a little girl in a painting, and the parents see her in the painting, and she moves around.
Scary.
And then she gets older
like
and
It.
dies.
Oh, nah, man.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Like
Yeah,
even
it's
all
really
the paintings in Harry Potter.
Here's Maud and I's reaction. Oh, that's fucked up, man. You're like, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
I
really,
love it.
it's just
great.
like really brilliant.
Yeah.
Awful.
But not too scary, but scary.
Oh, it's a little too
Oh,
scary.
okay.
But this I loved because that part, the stakes are very clear that kids are being kidnapped. Lyra,
She
I mean, in
writes
this,
the letters. That was the most fucked up thing.
I
She writes the
know.
letters that the kids are like, tell my mom this. I want to tell my mom this. I'm going to do this. And she's like,
Mum's
yeah,
like, I
got
don't
it,
really
got it.
even know my mum's name.
I don't know, but can you? I'm gonna whisper in your ear, my little British boy. I'm gonna whisper in your ear. Can you tell my mum that I'm gonna
Yes,
come
tell
and
me,
come
Hector.
to the
I'll write it
north?
right in this letter right
I'm
now so
gonna
your
come
mother
to
will
the
get
north.
it.
I don't know where I
Absolutely.
live, but can you tell me, mum?
It would make it tomorrow night.
Thank
in time
you.
for supper.
Kid goes away, and then she fucking throws it in a fire like
And
a
like honestly,
bee.
she like high fives her golden monkey.
yeah,
They're
and
like,
the monkey's like, and she's like, yeah.
You know what? I do think
Yeah.
that they did a really, really good job with building up the relationship with the demon because right
Yes.
at the start you're like, I don't understand. What? Oh, I get it. And it's these slight things where it's like they're sharing an emotion, but they're still able to have each other's like its own identity. But whatever you're feeling, they feel, and you're able, like this amazing connection.
And when Pantalaimon,
Yes, gets
Pantalaimon,
How do
attacked
they
by the
say
gold.
it in the book?
Pantalaimon.
Pentalaimon?
Pantalaimon.
Yes!
When Pantalaimon decides not to, when Pantalaimon in this last
Yeah.
chapter to not give away Lyra's emotions, he goes into a moth mode.
Yeah.
He goes like.
But how great is that? Like if you're a really
It's like
observant and you do,
Animorphs.
you can.
Which is also cool.
Like I don't have a poker face.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
that's-
my own demon.
That's true.
But
Your
like
face is your demon.
yeah, right.
Same.
Yeah. And I mean that's and I mean that in a nice way.
Yeah, no,
Where your
absolutely.
emotions
But my
understand.
flamingos, they're like, wah! next
It
to
is.
me.
It is almost like the anger translator in Luther, but it's this part of you, and I'm sure someone, probably Java Book Geek Girl, someone in the chat, can also look at like the
break this
ego
down.
and the id
Yes,
and
yes,
sort
yes.
of what that might be. But I love this connection that you have, and when I read this, that was the part actually in the whole book that really. Was the coolest part for me was like, oh my, you know, when you're like, God, I wish I had got a letter to Hogwarts or
Hogwarts,
whatever.
yeah.
I was like, I want a Damon
Yes,
so
a
bad. That
Damon.
would be so cool.
I still don't know what the rules of that are, but just
Yeah,
through
are
the
you born
context
and then
clue.
they're birthed
Yeah, like,
from it? Like,
not explained, but
yeah.
again, just through the context clues, like I'm along for the ride. Like
Yes.
I
do like
get.
it's like they're interchangeable, and then when you
Yes.
hit puberty, it settles.
and
That's
s-
kind of cool.
And then
Oh,
yeah, that
shit.
makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah.
That, because
And
Lyra's
that's why,
is
like when you're
shape-shifting.
older, yeah.
Yeah, but
They
then
have
the older
one
one have like
shape.
a cool cat or something
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
like
So it's
yeah,
set-
So
So-
interesting though, because it's like as a dog owner, it's like, and all the butlers and servants have dogs. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
yep.
that's
Well,
what I
and
have to
it's-
do to have a dog.
Kind of a
And
Well,
that's what I'll do.
it's. I mean, but
Yeah.
that's the thing is that it's.
loyalty.
Well, and it's part of it's. It's weird because it's. Are they butlers because they're dog? Like chicken
well,
or you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
I didn't think about.
what is that? And there are other characters.
Well, Roger started off in the kitchens where he was a little guy, and you
Mm-hmm.
obviously know that that's all he's going to be. So,
But maybe not, that's the thing is you
I don't think you're
know
32 and
until
you're like, guess I'm a servant. Like, oh,
Yeah,
tried it
well,
on the
it's-
rail
Yeah, I
tracks.
think
and-
they hinted at that at the Oxford College that they have a family that has been there for like 5+ generations,
Yeah.
and I think that that's cool. But at the same time, anytime I read that in literature or in a story, it kind of always irks me the wrong way a little bit because it almost feels like indentured servitude. It
Yeah,
almost feels like
or classism.
you know, it's
That's
like
classism, yeah.
it's classism, which you know,
or a caste system. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
no, it's
I
fucked
like
up.
I don't like the stories where Alfred Pennyworth, like his father, helped like Thomas Wayne's father, because I'm like,
Let
Pennyworth's,
Alfred go
like,
ride motorcycles or
Yeah,
something.
I'm like, Alfred, you should have just been you should have been the first Pennyworth to be hired
Yeah.
by the Wayne family, and you stuck around because kids' parents died. Like, I don't want it to be like I've been trained by my father to help the Waynes. It's like, fuck that,
Yeah, that's
dude.
kinda a bit
That's
gross,
weird.
huh?
It's a
Yeah.
bit gross because then you can't root for the superhero Batman, who's supposed to be a cool dude, if
Who's
he's still
keeping.
who's
Yeah.
keeping Alfred.
Yeah.
You know, which is
From
why
his-
Batman Begins works, where he leaves, comes back as a 25-year-old or 29-year-old, and Alfred's like, I've got all your money, like I'm keeping, you know, it's that father-son relationship
Yeah.
that makes it okay for Alfred to be a thing that's still around, because I'm like, well, he's his dad.
Yeah.
And I like when stories lean into that. Anyway, back to
He
Golden
adopted
Compass.
him.
Thank you.
Can we scroll up to just Thrash Odin made a great point. I found it interesting that because this book is set in an age of discovery time, the book won't tell you how the world works because the characters are discovering that as well.
point.
Fair point.
And I agree, because it can be really frustrating in a book, in a film, in a TV show where you're like, explain to me the
Yeah.
rules and follow through with them.
And
And there
honestly,
are shows
if-
that don't, but this pays, it pays off.
Fantasy is one thing, but honestly, anytime there's science implied, I need to know that, because that is going to be the unwavering thing. That is your fact. And I think, that's when I need, that's not a negotiable thing.
Yes.
Like, give me the science.
And I think, and again, I don't want to spoil it because this is such an, and I don't think that
I
I
read ahead.
could, because it's this book. These books get so bonkers, and are
I've heard that the ending for the third book pissed so many people off that also makes me kind of curious. Is like, I might
I couldn't
wanna
even
take the dive.
tell you.
Oh no,
It's
Rachel.
a lot.
I
It's a-
forget, but I
Worse
just
than the
remember
ending of
going,
Lost?
they're a bit young. Anyway.
Rachel, worse than the ending of Lost?
It's no. It's
bullshit. I'm gonna read it. It's probably worse than Ending
It's
Lost. Ending
not.
Lost is great.
Lost's ending
3 books
doesn't make
later, and you're like,
narrative
oh.
sense.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It actually makes the most narrative
No,
sense.
it doesn't.
Because
It maybe makes the most
because-
narrative sense if you had stopped after
Christian-
season 1 and we
Christian
did what
Shepherd's
J.J.
there.
Abrams wanted to do after season 1, but the show evolved. Sorry, Lee. It's
No,
true.
Lee's got my back. Lee's got my
It's
back.
true.
Lee's got my back.
I'm on your side.
Thank you.
Yep.
If I had a
No.
book that represented Lost, I would throw it right now.
Nah, I wouldn't hold you back. Really quickly as well, in the book, because that is, I've been listening to it.
what's
I
on
used
the
to only read a book if it had a map at the start of the lands, and I'm like, yes, this is my jam. This one doesn't. But if you go to
Oh.
the end of the book,
I see.
there are letters
I didn't know that.
from Oxford and Jordan College, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't see that
Which is
either.
factual and could help.
I should have known.
Some
Of course, the
papers
front
from
of the
the
book is a
library.
spoiler. Did we talk
appendix.
about that?
Huh? The front of the book? No, it's not.
No, okay, yeah, sure, it's not. She's just writing it, whatever.
It's a polar bear. We've all seen the movie trailer. I knew that shit was coming, and I still know it's coming. It's not a
Look
spoiler.
at Pantalaimon.
Once
Look
they
at tiny
start-
Pantalaimon. He's a snow ferret.
Oh, he's a little snow ferret? That's cool. I didn't notice that.
He's so cute.
This is kind of like, y'all ever see... Yeah, it's great, right?
He's so cute.
It's like kind of like the
Oh,
Legend
maybe
of
a
Korra
little
or
ferret.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. I like that.
No.
Animal companions. Yeah.
I know, it's really cool. So, we've already said what we think our demon, I'm going to say Damon the whole time,
I'm gonna
is
say
going to
demon
be,
because
we're going to
that
be
is what's correct according
taking,
to Philip Pullman. Get it right.
I don't care. That's the fun of books, is
True.
that we get to choose,
Maybe
you put
I
something out
agree.
into the world
It's
and
GIF.
it's any
Fuck
kind
the guy
of,
who created it. It's GIF. Fuck
Agreed.
him. Super hard.
well, it's
GIF.
also
Get out of
like,
here.
when
Whoa,
you create a
whoa,
piece of
whoa.
art, you
Is it
said this last,
consensual?
It's gift.
It's no longer yours. It belongs to the world.
Yes.
It belongs to the ages.
and so that's how I feel about Damon. So,
Diamond.
like I said, my name's
Diamond.
Not
If Philip Pullman didn't want people to say diamond, he wouldn't have put an extra fucking A in there. He would have
Yep.
just left it.
But if it's supposed to be
DEMON.
agnostic and atheist, and he's
Then
chucking
ex-
demons in,
Oh, hey, look, man.
I guess it's his interpretation of a
Star
demon. He's
Trek is
reclaiming.
supposed to be, not
Drink every time he
religious.
says Star Trek.
Go for it. Star Trek's not supposed to be religious, and yet people were afraid to advertise Leonard
die.
Nimoy as Spock because he looked like the devil. He purposely gave Spock devil ears because people were so afraid of that imagery that he's like, no, he is the most logical character. We're going to get you to fall in love with this character. He looks like a demon. Who cares? So, whatever. He could have left the word demon, and it just would have had a different context in this
We
story.
should get it. And
it does
Phil,
have a
we need to
different
check.
It does.
context, and I thought about whether or not it was pronounced that way, but
Stick with Damon.
I'm
Do your thing, girl.
going
I
to.
just think Matt. I
good.
just think Matt.
Got
Nah.
your back. Matt Damon.
And I think of a little Matt being like, "Hey, Maud." I'm like, Matt,
Yeah.
shush.
So
Don't give it away. What I'm feeling.
He's like, ha ha ha. He's really emoting.
He's actually lovely. Matt Damon's actually really lovely.
Is he? That's good.
That's fine. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
Oh, have you interviewed him?
No.
There you go,
I'm just saying I prefer the animals to
Matt.
Matt Damon. Yeah.
Me too. I think he
But
would
if you
too.
could have a Matt Damon,
He would
animal.
too. No.
That'd be weird.
No.
That'd be
Not for a
weird.
day.
That'd be weird. I
I'd
don't want a
rather have
person as
have
a pet.
I'd rather have a Jason Bateman.
No.
No?
Have you interviewed him?
Be sassing you all. Yes.
He would be
I
sassy.
have.
I'd like it. I like it.
I
What's
like.
that?
I should have been evicted from my first interview with Jason Bateman.
Oh, no. What did you do?
I
What did you say? Maud.
So I had an older man crush on Jason Bateman, and of course I tell my radio co-host that, and the first thing he did was, "Moore's got an OMC on
I'm
you,"
sorry.
and he's like, "Am I older? Am I that much older?" And I'm like, older than what I usually go for because I have a cougar for a demon." And
Or
so anyway,
a wolf. We learned from Thrash Odin that's wolf now. We should start calling cougars wolves. That's cool as shit.
It is cool as shit.
Oh, I am a wolf.
So are cougars, though. Cougars are
Yeah,
cool.
but cougar has now become a bit of
Yeah,
a joke.
Cougar Town,
That like,
yeah.
like let's bring it back to wolf.
Which is great. They drink a lot of wine on that show.
Long. They
Same.
do. They do.
Same
Long
team.
story short, we hugged, and I saw an opportunity to just while hugging
Oh, and he, he got wind of that.
hugged me quite quickly.
Oh boy.
And I was like, took a risk, didn't pay off,
Oh
but
no.
smells fresh.
I had a different experience.
And Maud was like, I've made a huge mistake.
I'm a monster. Don't
Oh,
play
boy.
the Arrested Development drinking game. You will die. So yeah, I used to do it in college. It's great.
Pet people bad.
Back to the book, the althiometer.
Yeah.
What's your read on
Oh,
that?
yeah.
It's the Golden Compass. That's what the book's named
Oh,
after.
oh, okay.
And I think that
What do
it's.
you think he got out of Vault 712? What do you think's in the package?
Oh, Amy.
Amy
She'll
Vocal.
never live that down.
She's so dumb. She'll never see this. Just like your mom.
do it, unleash.
I don't know what the Philosopher's Stone. What is it? What's in the package? You're so dumb, Amy.
Aw.
I love you. I'm just kidding. All right.
That felt weird
Yeah, that did feel
for you to
weird.
be a bit
She'll
mean
get
then.
wind of
Me,
that.
fine. It's
She'll
like,
get
oh,
wind
she
of
went
that.
full cray, but you, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, too mean. Too mean. It's fine. Amy knows I love her. I think it is a thing that will, when it pointed to like a symbol that represents something.
So there's like horse, there was a candle.
Yeah,
there was
a horse will be like, "Where's a horse nearby?" And then the compass is going to tell you. Like, I think that's what it is at this
Actually,
point.
like last
That's it.
Tuesday, I asked
Cool.
that exact question. If I had
Yeah.
a golden compass, would have helped.
But I think at some point, because it said it reveals the truth, that's what the
Yes.
the item does, right? So it will. She'll be able to hold it up to. Is it Ava Green? Is that the actress who plays Mrs. No, she's
Coulter.
not.
You haven't met?
Who's Miss Coulter?
I gave it away on Twitter.
Nicole Kidman. Oh, well, that changes it for me. All right, cool. I'm gonna have
you see
to
the
look
No,
into
art?
that.
totally different.
Huh?
Did you see the art?
Yeah,
I'm Miss
shout
Coulter.
out, shout out to
Oh, excellent.
the
That was awesome.
handle of the person who made the.
CAG something.
Yes.
Glitter.
So
If
good.
you haven't seen it,
Am I
look on
Daniel
Twitter.
Craig? Am I Daniel Craig? Am I
I
Lord
think it's
Arisel?
more an idea.
Asriel?
Yeah, and I'm the Ava Green.
Awesome. Awesome. That's
know,
great.
right?
That's
Oh my
great.
God.
Cool.
I'm
Nicole
not much of a
Kidman. That's
stretch,
great.
Because I'm
It was
Aussie.
Elsie, exactly.
I can
And
do
super
super
tall and
voice.
blonde.
Yes, and I have a golden monkey.
And I could fucking play James Bond, no sweat. So that.
And
I
Ava
know
Green
you
is like
could.
queen of the goths,
Yeah,
witches. So
exactly.
it's very cool.
Exactly, yeah.
So thank you for that.
Okay.
That was super awesome.
Oh, that's weird. That it's
I
Nicole
retweeted
Kidman.
Yeah,
it.
it's totally
Did you guys retweet it?
yes.
I retweeted
I
it.
retweeted
Oh, I
it.
haven't yet. I
Can
will.
we
Look at it.
scroll up? I saw a really
It's on my
great
Instagram
from A
story
Cat
too.
Who Games, which was about. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So a little bit up. Not that one. I
Keep
think
going.
it's up. Maybe I missed it.
Oh no.
Right there.
Yes. A Cat Who Games said, I looked at it, the daemons, as if you were religious,
Yes.
it's the idea of your soul, like an
Yes,
external soul.
100%.
And if
Yes,
you
yes,
are
yes.
more science-based, it's a reflection of your ego sense of self, which I really
Interesting.
love because, you know, when you take stuff like the quiz that we're going to take next week, or the Patronus, or what house you are, or
Oh,
the
my Patronus
Myers.
was a flamingo. I got to stretch. I got to think outside my box now.
Yeah,
I forgot
My-
I've never done the Patronus one. I don't think.
Myers Briggs, when you look at those ideas, they are sort of a projection of you. So I
Yeah.
find that very interesting. So far in the book, we asked you guys,
Wolf.
you all,
Wolf,
yeah, oh, that's
wolf.
a good one.
Sorry, yeah, that's my demon.
Which
Patronus.
item caught your interest the most in the book so far? And 43% said the dust,
Ooh.
24% said the althiometer, and 33% said the daemons.
Mine 100% would be demons. Now that I know mine's a wolf.
I think because the demons are a little bit more clear, and the althiometer, you're like, okay, it's
And
something
the dust is still a
magical, but the
mystery,
dust
yeah.
we're just like,
Dust
what
isn't-
is it? Particle, like
I'm not there yet
there's
with the
different
dust, so that's my
language
answer too.
there.
But I actually prefer to know that there is this device which has 3 different handles and all around it are different symbols, and she has to learn. And I'm actually excited to learn with her. The
Yes.
dust,
Yeah.
tell me. Just tell me.
Sure.
Just tell me what's going on.
Sure.
Bit of light, not for the kids, da-da-da-da, what's severed, what's cut, all that kind of stuff. But so for me, the order of it would be the demons, and then the golden compass, and then the dust.
There you go.
But not chat.
The through line of dust in these books is fascinating, and I'm very excited to dive into it with everyone. Ghost Talk says Myers-Briggs is 1,000% a crock of nonsense. That's just your opinion, man. A Cat Who Games also says, I pictured Mrs. Coulter as a Louise Brooks or Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago look. That's
No wonder I'm
Okay.
Mrs.
Slap
Coulter.
it.
Again, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
she's
That
great.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's time for homework already.
What?
I know, but we're gonna
Yeah,
get
Team Wolf. Oh.
We're gonna get so much deeper into this and have so much to talk about.
Okay.
You will be reading to the beginning of chapter 11. So read through the end of chapter 10.
Hey, also little PSA, if you are listening on Audible, the chapters do not align
good to
in
know.
the app than they do in the book. Because I actually listened up to chapter 5 on the app, and it was like chapter 9.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
Good job not
Listen.
spoiling anything.
Listen to it. Thank you.
You know what? Can I say?
By
other
the
thing?
way, do you know
Good job.
there's a couple that I'm sitting on? That'll be fun.
Oh yeah, that's next time, right? Yeah.
End of
But
10.
again, like I'd forgotten. So I was
Oh.
listening along. I was like, so guys, get ready for a few moments.
End of 10, beginning
yeah.
of 11, right?
This is such a mind fuck of a book. If we don't,
Okay.
we were talking about it beforehand.
Yeah.
If we don't read the other two in this series this
Yeah.
year, I will be shocked.
Really?
Because when you end it, you're just like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Oh,
Another Patronus is a wolf. Oh.
ow.
I'm getting my wolf pack. Move over, Griffin Mords.
Aw. Don't forget, we're also on Goodreads. We're
gonna
always, all of us are always reading something else in addition to this, whether it's a book, comic book, graphic
Oh,
novel.
Oh, quickly,
So
let's go
many
around. What
fucking
what
comics.
comic are you reading right now?
I'm reading
shoot.
Jeff Johns' entire Green Lantern run. and it is
Nice.
brilliant.
Yeah, right.
It is really fantastic. I just finished with the Sinestro Corps War, and I'm on my way to Blackest Night. And I'm also reading Marvel Civil War, all of those tie-ins. And I'm also reading a Star Wars novel about Rose and Paige Tico.
Oh, fun.
Star Wars,
I think I've
The
read
Last
that.
Jedi tie-in book. It's good. I like it.
And if you want to talk more about Civil War, check out Alpha Comic Book
I
Club.
know. Yeah, we
Nice.
did. We
Quick
talked
plug,
about
go.
it.
Last night.
Woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo.
Last night.
It was
Yeah.
a good epi. It was a
Yeah,
good epi.
it
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm reading, I don't remember the name of the series. I finally finished a book I've been reading forever, so I'm starting, it's another murder mystery set in England with a lady protagonist. But she's D.I. Kim Stone, and it's the first book in that series.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just finished the first book of the Crown of Thorns series, I believe it's called, which is Sarah J. Maas again. I've absolutely smashed that. I think it's 6 books of the first run, which is all about a female assassin. This one is basically an adult Beauty and the Beast.
What?
Ooh.
Sorry.
Cool. So like
Wow.
Shape of
Yeah,
that
guys.
real- Shape
Is that
of
the
Water?
one the first one that's in a series, right? Mm-hmm. You've
When you
recommended
say
this to me.
when you say adult, do you mean
Dun, 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 dun.
cool? Just wanted to clarify that. Great.
Sweet, I'm in. I'm on board. So
Great.
find us on Goodreads. Thanks so much for joining us. We love you all very much. We'll see you next week.
He bites her neck.
Oh.